Okay, so I'm sat here with Brad Schaive from Team America. Brad, you're fighting in the 30 versus 30 and the full plate duel.
I am. I'm doing
right?
the full plate tournament, which will be the first time at Battle of Nations, which I'm excited to do that,
yeah.
and the first ever 150 on 150. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, that's the one that nearly got me back into armor.
Yeah,
just,
me
just
too.
To say that you were there. Well, yeah, it got you back into armor.
Me too, right? Yeah.
So, give us a bit of history about your time in the sport, because you were one of the original Americans to ever attend Battle of the Nations, weren't you?
I am. I'm one of those that was stupid enough to go to Poland in 2012. So we started training in 2011. There were 29 of us. Which is why I had this made.
Yeah.
29 Americans went and learned just how bad we were, and came back. And then when we went to France the next year, Battle of Nations next year, we raised our name back up and got a little bit more credit.
Yeah.
So it's always stuck with me to be one of the original 29 that basically had the nerve to go.
Yeah.
And it's always been important to me that we did that. And kind of like this with the 150. I was drawn to coming back to the 150 because it's the first, and so I like being one of the ones that was on the cusp of innovation, and I'm glad to be here for that. It's truly a test. It'll be as close as there's ever been since probably the Battle of Agincourt of 300 people. Yeah,
I mean, I was talking to Edward M, obviously the president of HMB, and obviously he's got a very big reenactment background.
Yeah.
And I said to him, realistically, the 150 versus 150 is going to be the closest we get in the modern age of having any idea what a medieval fight or battle looked like. Because with that many people, I imagine we're going to end up getting like ebbs and flows and certain flanks starting to crumble, and then so we'll see tactics and techniques that you can't see in 5v5, you can't see in 12v12, you can't even see in 21v21. There's not enough people. But with 150, and with having these 30-man banners, it'll be interesting to see how they operate, what the overall captains of each team decide is going to be the order of the day.
That was a genius idea, was capturing the banners.
Yeah.
Not only the visual effect of the banners, but it brings out the historical part of it too. But I think that, you can have thousands of reenactors together, and it gives a view of what it was.
But that's it.
But that's it.
Yeah.
But when you have 150 knights fighting, 150 knights, and they're fighting, and I mean fighting, and you know how we are when we start swinging pole arms.
Yep.
That gives you a real semblance of what it's going to be like to fight in something that you have literally no control over.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what people are going to see, that they're going to see that you can't control 300 armored fighters that are trying to win glory.
Yeah.
And it's going to be amazing to see people who, we've got some people taking vows to go touch a banner.
Yep.
And I think that's going to be an amazing thing to see.
Yeah.
I
think the visuals of it will be stunning.
But I think it'll be the best for taking this sport out for people to see it. When I see these people come to these events, and I put on events all in the United States, fives are exciting.
Yeah.
They always loved them. Duels, they watch, but they don't, it takes a medievalist to really understand the blows. Mass battles is what they come for that.
Yep.
The kids come for it, the people go crazy about it, and this takes it to a whole different level. A 150, it's going to be truly stunning. And it's amazing that HMB came up with it, with the concept, and I've always been happy with how it always grows.
Yeah, I think really the 150 versus 150, number one, obviously it's the 10th anniversary of Battle of the Nations, but I think the fact that it's possible is a real testament to, in that 10-year period, how much growth has happened.
Absolutely.
From 4 nations 10 years ago to 40 nations here today, and the 5v5 category on its own yesterday took a whole day with 3 lists. I mean, that's a lot of guys at a high level of sport. I mean, even teams who've never been here before, like Norway, yesterday, a 4-man team, because they lost a guy due to an injury. As a 4-man team, they were beating 5-man teams.
Well, look at China.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was coming over to get ready for the interview, the Chinese team's going by. Then I had to stop and wait as all of the women's teams marched past. It has transformed. The sport has transformed, and I think it is growing every year.
Yeah.
The concept is growing every year. And the respect for HMB as an association and an organization is at its highest.
Yeah, no, I agree completely.
I truly think that, one, it's all inclusive. Every country's welcome. Every fighter's welcome. And I think that it really sets, it sets a standard for what this can be. And it's just a pleasure to be part of it. And I'm glad to have been here for as long as I have. I've seen many of the Battle of the Nations. We come from Battle of the Nations. We go back home. There's not too many people from Illinois that I can sit and run into that have been to Serbia.
Yeah.
And now I can talk about Serbia and the people and the culture and the food. And it's just, it's very special.
Yeah, no, I agree with you completely. Special. I know you said one of the things that always sort of draws you back is the innovation. So the 150 versus 150, the new category for the fully plated jewels. Mm-hmm. But what are some of the differences you've noticed? Because I think you took, was it a year out?
I did. I took a time off. I think it's important sometimes to take a break. You need to take a break. You got family duties. This takes so much of a commitment. And when we train new fighters, we have that conversation that you think this is one thing, but rest assured, it's something else.
Yep.
It takes a commitment. You're going to need to train. You're going to need to train a lot. You're going to need to have enough money to get appropriate harness.
Yeah.
And then you're going to need to have enough money to get to the Battle of Nations. And it's a commitment, and a real commitment. And I think that for those who are not prepared, they'll get here and get surprised or get hurt.
Yeah.
And I think that that commitment takes forethought. It takes well thought out plans, and it takes funds. But I think that to pass that opportunity up, you just can't. You can't. Any Battle of Nations you can get to, I think the day will come someday where you will be able to sit back and say, I was in Poland in 2012. It's funny because I talk to new fighters and I talk about Poland. And I feel like when I used to hear my grandpa talk about stuff, right? So it's kind of disheartening too, right? Yeah. So I think I'm going to quit talking about that and be like, yeah, I just started. But, to be part of it, be part of the original United States team to where we're at today is truly stunning. We had 29 people and we thought we had really accomplished something to where now we have to not bring people because of our numbers. We have enough we could bring more than we can. That's truly a testament to HMB. It really is. And, I had taken a year off and I got a message. And, one thing about this sport, you make so many lifelong friends. So I was at home. And I get a message from one of the Danes. It says, where are you? I said, well, I wasn't coming this year. He said, that's not what I'm talking about. They're talking about you right now on the live feed. I get on the live feed, and it's your fault and Gavin's fault, and I'm watching and I'm hearing the things you're saying, and it was truly, what an honor to be one of the original people that came from the United States to years later being known as one of the knights that fight and compete for our country. And that's you can't sum that up. You just can't sum that up. And to hear you guys talk and to be able to walk around here and know, Cavaliers from all over the world, no matter what country, and you know them and you have that relationship. You can't create that anywhere else. Nobody has that.
Yeah, no, it's a special bond fighters have, 100%. Like, we beat the hell out of each other in the lists, and out the lists, like, as you said, you make lifelong friends.
You do.
With someone who moments ago, whose head you were hitting repeatedly with an axe.
When my wife, we were looking for a kidney donor for my wife, there were fighters from all over the world saying, do you think it's possible if I flew in I could test to see if I'd be a match?
Yeah, I remember seeing all that.
I mean, that's hard to talk about.
Yeah. Well, that's what this sport does.
It is.
And it's one of the things that HMB cultivates.
Yeah, it does. It tears down walls, it tears down stigmas, it tears down false beliefs of what someone is.
Yeah.
And then you get here, and whether you're Russian or United States or Chinese or Israel, everybody comes together and you build bonds that are there, and they'll be there forever.
Yep.
So someday we'll be able to sit, and you'll be my age then, and I'll be up there sitting with all the old guys and all the older women talking about how it was in our day.
Yeah.
And I look forward to that.
Yeah, I look forward to that too.
Yeah, I look forward to that.
I think on that note, I think that was an amazing interview. Brad, thank you so much for coming, taking the time out of your busy day to come and talk to us. I really appreciate it. I'm sure everyone watching will really appreciate your insight, which I think is really unique. So you can go back to the live stream now, where you can hear me and Gavin talking about the women's 5v5 all day, and then as well the men's 12v12. Brad, buddy, thanks again so much.
It's an honor to be here.
No, you too, buddy. Thank you a lot.
Thank you.